Got some information on Game Awards stuff.
Here we go.
As soon as I saw this, I'm just like, oh, John's gonna be pissed.
We joked about it last week.
We were joking. This didn't have to be real.
Yeah, but we were like, I think even then I was like, I won't be surprised.
I mean,
Yeah, none of us were surprised.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm just disappointed.
All it tells me is that we got to revise our game of the year.
Oh, yeah. Well, it also tells me what the winner is. I'm just going to call it. I know what the winner is now.
In a year full of good, like pretty good candidates for Game of the Year,
Yes.
we can get screwed.
Yes.
Buy
So, all right, Monday, the 18th, we have the official nominees for Game of the Year, and I'm assuming all the other awards. So the big news about this is very conveniently, TGA updated on their website under the FAQs has updated a section about DLC, expansion, remake, and remasters. And it says, the Game Awards aims to recognize the best creative and technical work each year, irrespective of the format of that content's release. Expansion packs, new game seasons, DLC, remakes, remasters are eligible in all categories. If the jury deems the new creative and technical work to be worthy of nomination, factors such as the newness of the content and its price/value should be taken into consideration. So the TLDR for everyone, Elden Ring Shadow of Erdtree can now be nominated for the Game of the Year category.
And every other category it would hit.
Yeah. Which
also,
Jeff!
which also means Diablo 4's Vessel of Hatred
Vessel of Hatred could be in consideration.
could show
too.
up in like RPG and several other ones.
And like, let's say if this was a thing last year or even the year before, like stuff like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed could have been considered. Phantom Liberty from Cyberpunk could have been considered. Stuff like that. Even God of War Valhalla could have been considered. Stuff like that.
But that wasn't last year. This is this year. So going forward,
Yeah, I know.
and everyone's nominations, they have to consider well-received DLCs and wonder
The
stuff.
thing is, it's like he can use whatever terminology, phrase it however he wants to. The thing is, we've had a history of these DLCs and expansions. They typically just, if they do get nominated, they're put into the game continuation category, or like continuous updates or something like
continued
that.
Support or whatever it's called.
It's like they go into that category.
And we were okay with that.
Yeah.
But no, we were joking last week about it. About, man, Jeff really loves Elden Ring. He's still riding high about getting the first official release or like
Gameplay,
showcase of Elden Ring. Like he got that, so he's still riding high on that. And we joked about, would he allow it in? And the answer is yes.
Yes, he would.
Yep.
Because now it's going to happen.
So now one of two things is going to happen. Elden Ring is going to sweep
Again.
Yep.
again, or they're going to put it in there as a show and give the award to something else, which is then going to piss everyone off.
Yes. Correct.
Because then it's like, one, you put it in there when it honestly probably shouldn't be in there. And two, if it is in there, it should win.
Yes. Correct. Because now this, again, like what John said, it's like we had a year of some really good titles where it was a fun year for Game of the Year because you don't really know what's going to win.
Yes.
I mean, you've got Astrobot, you got Black Myth. I mean, those are two like kind of heavy hitters. I mean, you've got Metaphor. You've got even Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I mean, you have like multiple titles that can compete for this where it's like you can see an argument for everything. And now it's just like, well, now it's going to be Elden Ring.
And then we just sweep that out of the way.
Yeah, and now it's Shadow of Erdtree, Game of the Year.
And nothing against Shadow of Erdtree. It is a fantastically well done expansion and whatnot of Elden Ring and whatnot. It's just us seeing how the nominations continue to go in terms of remasters, remakes, DLC, which most that get nominated are very good and whatnot. But we are all in the camp of we like new stuff.
Yes. It like, okay.
To get praise.
So I was thinking about this. all day today. And, you know, I think it's past time of where this kind of stuff needs its own category.
Yes.
But I know the conversation in the past has been like, do we need a remake, remaster category? Since this is clearly the route they're taking with DLC season passes and expansions, whatever. I thought about like what's the right way to call the category. I don't know if this is still the right word, but I pitched just make a category for this stuff and call it the enhanced category, okay? Because my mindset is, enhanced as an enhanced version of the game or enhancing the game. So DLC, expansions, season passes would be enhancing the game as it is. Remakes and remasters is an enhanced version of an existing title. Make that a category, call it a day. The category could easily exist every year because if you're going to factor all those things in there, season passes is just new games. That's a wild one to me. They even clarified that.
The day that
all of
the
that
season
can fit
pass,
into that thing in there.
The day the season passes in the category, I'm just going, what the hell?
Yeah, because when it comes to the game of the year, I am not necessarily opposed to a remake being in there if there is a substantial growth of the game. Okay, so like examples of where I'm not okay with it are the Resident Evil games. It's just a prettier version of a great game, right? But like an example, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Is handshake.
I was about to say because remakes 1 through 3 are actually a significant jump.
In those cases, yes. Like 4, it's a great game.
It's been redone almost as much as Skyrim.
That is what it is. I can see the argument for the Final Fantasy VII games because they're I know your take of number 1's a remake and number 2 it's only a part of a game, but the way I can process where I can understand it is it's a drastic difference from the original game. So I was like, okay, I can kind of see that. But I still prefer there's no remakes in the nominees. And then God forbid I don't want to see a DLC in there. I have not played Shadow of Erdtree. I don't know how haven't played Elden Ring. I don't know how expansive this thing is.
It's pretty damn expensive.
Give me a comparison. Like, is this does this feel like its own game?
It could be.
If they sold Shadow of the Erdtree as its own game, nobody would have complained.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so it could have been its own game.
Yeah,
it could have been its own game.
Very easily could have been, but they decided to send it out as a $30
See, that was my question
DLC.
coming into the show could this have been its own game? Because I don't know.
They wanted it to be, yes.
Because my brain is still just wrapping around the fact that it is a DLC expansion. I can't get past that personally. Because
that's how they chose to sell it as,
right?
In which the community took it with open arms and the $30 they threw at Elden Ring for it. But I mean, if they really wanted to, they could have pulled a Ubisoft or anyone and just been like, "Yeah, this is Elden Ring too."
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Like I said, since it is labeled as that, I can't wrap my head around it as anything else, and I think it's crap that we all of a sudden changed the rules for Elden Ring. Like I think that's complete crap.
The joke here would be if it's not for Elden Ring and it's just some from other time we're not looking at.
That's also true. Could be a plot twist.
The thing is, like, for Game of the Year, like in some of the other categories, I don't like. The Game of the Year, your big marquee category, should, in my opinion, should not have remakes and it should not have like DLCs or anything like that. It should be what is the best new game that came out this year.
Yeah, and I can agree to that.
And the main reason I say that, and I've said it before for remakes, is even if you enhance the game, if you add some extra stuff on top of it, you are still taking an idea from like 20, 30 years ago, a game that everybody loved, and you're going, we're going to redo this and give you a little extra on it. It's not new. It's just nicer.
Yeah, its core DNA is not new. Yeah. That I agree with 100%.
Yeah, it's like you're not making a new game. You're making, like you said, you're enhancing the game and maybe adding some stuff to it.
Yeah, you've got the skeleton and you've got the DNA of it.
But Game of the Year 2024 should be what is the best new game that came out in 2024, not the best DLC, not the best remake. It's like we had a good good group of selection of candidates that we thought would make it in there. There was pretty much a good, like you could make a good argument for like 6 games.
Sure.
For Game of the Year. How many years in the past how many in the past couple years? We've had good games, but we've had game A versus game B for Game of the Year for like 4 years now. This is the first year in almost 5 years that we've had. Okay, we got 6 games that could take Game of the Year.
Yeah, I feel like the last couple years that I can think of that were probably in that same category of like, okay, you got multiple contenders here, would be the year It Takes Two won and the year Sekiro won. The other years, like, I mean, it was clear between like Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. It was clear between, God of War and Elden Ring. It was clear between Baldur's Gate and Zelda. You know what I mean? Like, we had those clears, but I would say, yeah, it's been a few years. The last one probably be the It Takes Two year. That was the year Metroid Dread got nominated too.
Yeah, I didn't realize It Takes Two took Game of the Year.
Yeah, It Takes Two won the Game of the Year at TGA a couple of years ago.
Dang, okay.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, you could argue that, yeah, we don't have like big game A versus game B because we didn't have as big of releases this year. But also, it's like we've had a good year of games.
Yeah.
We've had a bad year of some games too.
Historical failures.
But we've had a a year of good games, and now this is one of the few years where we look at it, we go, there's not a standout. They're all good.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that
and then
they're going to get swept
by the standout.
Right.
Yeah, the standout that everybody was like, oh yeah, game of the year. And now that it's actually probably going to be nominated for game of the year, it's the same thing. It's like almost like the Nintendo thing. They're like, I mean, yeah, it's better, but come on.
See, I don't really think it is because I feel like just Elden Ring has such a following that people were more clamoring like it should be at this degree, even if it is a DLC, it needs to be Game of the Year still. So people are going to see that in there and just be like, yes, that's the Game of the Year.
They're going to see it and they're going to vote for it because it's there and it honestly should win. But at the same time, you would hope that people would go, yeah, but why is it in Game of the Year? It's like it made sense when the game came out, but this is...
I hope that they make the distinction to not put it in the category because of it should go to a newer IP that's not just an expansion, whatnot.
Yeah.
I have no trust in the fans because the friends are going to go with the game Shadow of Erdtree and choose it because that's probably the most notable game that they had fun with this year.
Mm-hmm. And also, when it comes to it probably just being a nominee, is at the end of the day, I mean, I think it's just about Jeff lining his pockets is all it's about. Because, I mean, you think about the controversy of last year. He had a game in the indie category that wasn't an indie game.
Yeah.
Like even the developer, the developer and the publisher both, because the publisher is it NetEase? No, it's Tencent that owned them.
It was Tencent.
Yeah, Tencent and even the developer were both just like, yeah, this is not an indie game.
Hey, that's on them for not doing the research.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is true. That's on the Game Awards for not doing the research. But then
I was
gonna say, didn't Jeff like stand his ground?
Yeah, he stood his ground.
Oh,
He did not backtrack on it. He said indie was a very controversial and not controversial, but a very different word to a lot. Has different meanings to different people. It's just like not in this case. What do you mean?
It straight up is not an indie game in
he
context.
He just didn't want to say he was wrong. And now it's like in this case, like I feel like this is a wrong thing to do. And you're just going to stand your ground on it, and because it's going to line your pockets.
I mean, he is because it's his show.
Yeah.
So I mean, he can do whatever the hell he wants.
And I feel like putting that in there, I feel like it just takes credibility away from the show. Like that's my opinion.
I think it's like my main problem with it. It's not. I don't necessarily think that it takes credibility away because at the end of the day, it's going to sound a little bit like I'm playing both sides.
Hypocritical?
But at the end, I couldn't think of the word. At the end of the day, if Shadow of the Erdtree gets nominated and it wins, we will have like the best game that came out this year.
The best piece of gaming content.
Best piece of gaming content will have won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
The problem is it's not its own game.
Yeah, and that's fair. Yeah,
And
that's fair. You're being devil's advocate.
Yeah,
here.
it's like
I know what you mean.
The best piece of gaming content will probably win Game of the Year, but it shouldn't be nominated for it because it's not its own new game.
Yeah.
So I can see where he's coming from. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it.
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of any year where I see a game that has remake in its title in Game of the Year.
Right.
But that's my own thing. Most people have accepted that that's acceptable. I don't like it.
Did you guys also see the thing that Jeff's trying to patent?
I missed it.
Yeah, I need to confirm this, but I saw multiple people on multiple like various tweets that Jeff put out, multiple people commenting like, "Why the fuck are you trying to do this?" Apparently, Jeff's, from what I understand, is trying to patent the words Game Awards.
What?
Yeah, where only his show can say it. No one else can say Game Awards.
That's rough.
Yeah, he's trying.
Calm down, Nintendo.
I mean, yeah, he's pulling a Nintendo here.
He is. He's pulling a Nintendo with that. But yeah, he's trying to get that back.
Realize that nobody likes that.
I mean,
the classic Fallout 4 thing. Everybody disliked that.
I was about to say, it's not even just a fan base thing. That's just I can't even think of where I was going with that now. More or less, his own realm of job and whatnot of community things of just other.
He's fucking video game media.
Yes.
Yeah, he's fucking the media is what he's doing.
It's like, yes, Jeff, we all like the Game Awards. We all like Summer Games. We like the showcases that you put on. We like the work that you're doing. Don't be a dickhead about it.
I mean, that's exactly it.
It's like you're already being a dickhead about it by changing rules
days before.
Changing rules days before, constantly changing the rules and standing your ground and not admitting when you mess up on something. But
now you're trying to monopolize Game Awards?
Yeah, the words Game Awards.
It's like if you didn't want to be a dickhead about it, you'd at least be trying to you'd put the in there.
Right.
But no, you want to be a dick about it.
Yeah, and just do
Game Awards. So literally no one would ever be able to do Game Awards. It'd have to be like Video Game Awards or some crap like that.
Or well, I don't know, would that work?
I don't know.
You know,
because it's kind of like the same thing of Take-Two was trying to sue about It Takes Two.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. Is that the gray area or not? Oh, or you're gonna have to do a situation like Golden Joystick, where they're called the Golden Joystick Awards. There's no game in there, so that's the loophole about it. I don't know.
It's the Game Video Awards.
Yeah, the Game Video Awards. Jesus Christ! Damn it, Jeff! Don't be a dick. We'll see if that patent actually goes through, though.
We'll see.
Yeah, but
we may talk about it now, but it may not go through until like 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, Jeff. Yeah, we like what you're doing, but be consistent.
Right.
That's why we liked it.
Well, he is being consistent and being a dick.
Well, it's like
No, he's being consistent and standing his ground on his choices.
it's like he's been consistent for like the last several years. Where it's like we knew what everything was going to be, we knew where everything was going to go, but like in the last year. He's like, nah, I'm gonna make shit up as I go now.
Yep.
It's like, no, that's not why. It's not why we like this. We don't want you to quit being the dickhead.
Right.
It's like be the dickhead on the night. Don't be the dickhead ahead of time.
I was about to say, stop bending the rules for things that are benefiting.
Right.
We liked the Game Awards because it was, for as far as we were, mostly impartial.
Yeah. True. And now it seems very partial.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, do you guys remember what our nominee predictions were?
Nope.
Because all right, Astrobot, Black Myth, Metaphor. I threw
Like a
in Dragon
Dragon.
Age, so Like a Dragon. So what was the last one? Was it just Final Fantasy?
I don't think it was Final Fantasy.
I thought Final Fantasy was our last one. I think I might have been the one to put that in there because I just think it's going to be in there. So was that the 6? I think it was.
We may have thrown Final Fantasy in there. I don't remember. I
think I'm the one that did because you did not. You refused to do it, and I did it. I think because I think it's going to be.
I didn't do it, and then I put forward Metaphor and probably Astrobot, maybe something else. But it's like you put forward like Black Myth and a couple other things.
Okay. Well, let's just say that was the 6.
No, because he didn't want to put Black Myth up, and you did.
Yeah, okay. Because I think it was Final Fantasy, though.
Because we might have put Final Fantasy, but I think that's when we started having that discussion of would Shadow of Erdtree be in there.
All right, well, if that was our 6, take out Dragon Age, add in Elden Ring. There you go. There's the nominees.
Because I was kind of having that thing of where like Jeff might do his thing where like, oh, Game Science had some controversy.
That's
and
right.
that so that we may not put him in there for that. But I mean, who cares, Jeff? You're making your own winner.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that's gonna be the nominees though: Elden Ring, Shadow of Erdtree, Astrobot, Black Myth, Metaphor, Like a Dragon, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. There you go. That's the Game of the Year nominees. I think we'll see on Monday, and I guess we'll see all the other nominees too.
Yep.
I guess. Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah. Everything being revealed that day. So
Unless they're going to do it as a week-long thing.
No, I think everything should just be that Monday. And then we're going to pencil in, very lightly pencil in, that we're gonna do another live stream for the Game Awards, and we'll see if John shows up. Would this be the first time? If you don't get sick and you come, would this be the first time?
I've never been here.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, it'd be over Discord, so you can relax.
I did. I made an appearance, I think, last year because I just sent a message in chat before I fell asleep.
Yep, that sounds about right. Yeah. So we'll just do it over Discord. We'll pencil that in. It'll be a fun time. So
This is just me waiting to see if I get a text saying, "Hey, we're both sick."
just like not that long ago, I texted him that we were both sick, and Zach's response like, "God, it's not the Game Awards yet. What are we doing?"